Now I got to take that light switch out. I'm going to pull this light switch out and then tuck it back into the hole. Not going to remove any wires from the switch itself. I'm just going to pull the panel, pull the switch plate off. Switch itself is fastened to the wall with some screws. Now, exactly what I would consider best practice. Works? Yes. A great many things work. 2 bare wires laid across the floor, as long as they're separated by the minimum requirement to stop shorting out, will power up anything you want. Is it a good idea? Chances are no. But since this was done by somebody with minimal skills and a limited set of hardware, because this is held in with a round head screw on the top and a flathead screw on the bottom. So I imagine this was done by somebody who was challenged. Yeah, the screw head is at a severe angle. Okay. Now, to keep myself from getting a poke, which is always a bad idea to get a poke, because it tinkles. It really does tinkle. I've had shocks from spark plugs, which are way up the ladder away from a 110 volt outlet. And I've also gotten shocks from 480 volt 30 amp circuits, which was used to run a heating element in a die. Those both stung really bad. So I try to avoid getting shocked by anything higher than a 9 volt battery. Now, the whole idea of demo day, where you run up and knock the thing down by running into it with your shoulder, not a good plan for something like this. I suppose if I was tearing out a major portion of the house and I really wanted to give you guys a big thrill on the camera, which is basically the point of the whole thing, then I might do the run through the wall deal, but nah, not gonna do it here. That's what Sawzalls are for. Need a longer blade. Okay, we're loose at the top. There was a concern that when I cut this wall down, the upper cabinet might fall. This is anchored to the bulkhead up above, so I'm not too concerned about it falling off. And all the cabinets are sitting on top of the microwave, which is bolted to the wall and bolted to the cabinet. So by the time you do all that stuff, it's pretty secure. But still, it's always a good idea to be careful. You don't want to have any unforeseen incidences where something gets damaged that you really don't want.
Now, I don't recommend this, but when we came up with this idea of rebuilding the kitchen, we thought, well, we'll replace the appliances because we want to get those replaced. And the idea of getting rid of the wall-mounted stove and the wall-mounted oven made it so that, you know, you could cook a turkey for Thanksgiving, because the Easy Bake Oven, which is what we called that little oven that went in that pocket there, was too small to handle anything bigger than a half-size cookie. Just a really bad idea. So we decided to take out the stove and the oven and not take out the rest of it, because we're not going to get the cabinets replaced until after Christmas. That's going to be a problem trying to stop somewhere in the middle.
Now, one of the things I have to be careful of, this floor has an underlayment. This is the second floor that I'm aware of that's in this room. So this is actually down 7/16 of an inch into the floor. I don't want to tear up the tile. Hopefully, well, this is vinyl flooring. Hopefully I'll be able to remove this without doing that, but I have to be careful about how I go about it. I don't want to damage the trim on the door, I don't want to damage the flooring. So I'm going to make another cut about here and loosen this thing up so that I can remove this lower section by kind of lifting up. I'll be able to peel it away, out, and up, hopefully.
Battery operated tools are nice. They're lighter, no cord to fiddle with. The only problem is, you run them for very long, they slow down and stop because the battery gets dead. Then you gotta go downstairs and get the other battery. Should have brought it up the first time.
Oh, wondered why it was slowing down. I wandered off and started cutting through two boards at once. See if we can cut those nails off. Is that enough of them? I have a feeling there's one back in the back there. I had to stop and recharge all the batteries. The camera died. The Sawzall died. Everything just quit at once. Well, it certainly has opened up some room in the kitchen. You can walk right in the door. Lots of room. Wasn't the intent of the operation, but we will have a stove over here, and this upper cabinet will be just a regular old kitchen cabinet. Won't be this big block. So it's going to open up the access to the kitchen quite a bit. It's going to feel larger. Won't be any bigger. It's going to feel larger. And we all know that perception is reality, right? See if I can get the rest of this thing tore loose. There's a reason that it didn't want to come out. I had it anchored in there with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 box nails. About 3-inch box nails. Nailing it into that 2x4 sub base. Serious amount of reinforcement. I can cut this off without getting into the microwave. I had to check and make sure the blade was short enough. Even though this microwave is probably going to be replaced, it's going to be the only cooking utensil we got here for about 2 days. So, well, that and the frying pan. Got an electric skillet. But I really don't want to create a situation where I cause myself more trouble. He liked putting in as many nails as he possibly could. I was puzzling how I was going to take care of this problem because I kept thinking that there was something here. There isn't anything. This is countertop down here and cabinets up here. This will be open space. So I can take this cover off, cut these wires back, tuck this in there, put a switch cover on that, and that'll be the switch cover and the switch for the kitchen light. Just the existing wiring, which seems like a small thing, but it's a 3-way circuit, and it goes up through the wall or down into the basement, even worse. And then somehow or another it ties into the light above and goes across the room on the other side. 3-way switches are a little tricky. And when they're done by the guy who wired this house, they're maniacal. You never know which wire he used. This one just happens to be a 3-strand. He's done 2 dual-strand wires and combined them all in a box. Took me probably 4 hours to figure out the wiring in the ceiling light for the bathroom in here. And that I didn't have a 3-way switch on it. All I had was just a regular old switch. So, I'm very happy about this. Wire appears to be in pretty good shape. It's just a 3-strand wire. It's a switch leg. We're okay. Tear out this and then get out the base, and the demolition is done. A little cleanup. We're out of here.